So, yeah, my name is Hyejoo Kang. I always introduce my name like, the Beatles song Hey Jude, my first name, so people can at least, pronounce close enough. So I have been at medical physicist and radiation oncology field last 17, 18 years. I had my training as a medical physicist at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York. And then I moved out to Chicago area. And then I was a medical physicist at University of Chicago, Northwestern. I'm currently at Loyola University, Chicago, like 10 miles like west of Chicago, the city. And I'm currently as associate professor, as also serving as an interim director of medical physics division here. So I've been here for 10 years. And in terms of why I'm currently doing medical physics, so before I switched to medical physics, I was experimental high energy physicist, and it was great. It was very exciting field, but I felt like I wanted to contribute or like to the society or help somebody who needs help. So medical physics has been very good in that aspect. I can still utilize my scientific skill and thought process, and I do help our patient when they come back for treatment. So it's a both worlds like very well interleaved, and think personally it was a good decision to switch to medical physics for me.
You actually get to meet patients and interact with them.
I do. So because of the our I guess background or field, we're technically focused, but we do interact with our patient. They ask us questions about like, oh, what are these like, like device rotating around us, how is radiation is delivered. So we're trying to be very professional, not giving too much information because there is a little bit of liability if we spook our patient. But we do like to talk with them, and then our field, medical physics, is trying to go in that direction, have more patient interaction. Because a whole that's a good education, as well as a lot of our patient now is very well, like they research really well and then have a good education in terms of treatment, all this. So to have us to talk with them, help them to ease, feeling easier when before they start a radiation treatment.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned that you were a high energy physicist and then you're medical physicist. Why choose physics in the first place?
So I mean, whenever I tell this story, so when I was probably 9 or 10 years old, I read biography of Mary Curie, and then she was an amazing scientist, and she went through all this hardship and achieved so much. And I guess in my mind, when I was that young, that seems to be a great way, um, like live life, and then it looks like a great way to contribute, make a change in the world. So from that point, I always want to be a physicist, but what I didn't expect it was it will be evolving to like a more applied field than originally. I thought I was staying like pure physics, trying to find the origin of the universe, but now I'm, a little bit closer to the other end. So it was good experience to have all these different, I guess, specialties for me to develop skills in different area.
Well, one of the things that I'm trying to do with this is to really tell students that they don't have to have it all figured out. It doesn't have to be a straight line.
Nope. I mean, I 100%. And at some point, even when I was a high energy physics experimentalist, I was thinking, oh, is this really only way? Like, is this only area that I'm interested in? Turns out not really. Like, physics background can apply to a lot of other areas. And I was like, oh, that seems to be interested. And that other areas seem to be interesting and like doable. I feel like we could do it. And I had a lot of, friends going in that direction as well. So, I mean, as my personal story, my daughter majored in physics and she's trying to figure out what she want to do next. And I give the same advice. It's like, take your time, think about it. It doesn't have to be just, linear one path. You can go to, it looks like detour, probably not. It ended up, as long as you find what you like to do and feel like you can spend your life working on it, that's great. And it didn't turn out to be what you thought, you can always change too. So that's how yeah.
Great. So what was one step that happened in your studying physics process that you felt you had to do in order to make your career changes?
It was coming to so I'm originally from South Korea. So back then I thought, for me to learn broader and deeper in the physics, I should come to the United States to have a bigger lab and a more scientists around and more resource and opportunities. So that was one of the big decisions I made, helped me to explore what I thought I wanted to explore. So
Great. So what would be one thing that why has studying physics been a win for your career?
So, I mean, now I mentioned I switched my field, and then my current medical physics is very applied, and then I don't have to think about the origin of universe, or I don't have to calculate the quantum field all the time. And when I switch, I was like, oh, is all of that's gonna be just wasted? But what I learned is problem solving, and then how to face challenges, and then can think through when there is a problem or challenges or outcome. We don't go to one dimension. We can go think what's behind it, and we can think a little like two steps further when it comes to coming up with a solution. So, or even technical implementation, we can think through and make a good plan for us to have a clinical implementation. And that seems to be very valuable for anywhere like we
Great.
work. Yeah.
So one of the questions I like to ask is, high school and college students trying to figure out what their careers,
Mm-hmm.
they want to know how much money people in the field make.
So medical physics, physicists in radiation oncology, we have an annual survey. Currently, I heard like starting salary would be 200,000. That's
Wow.
after master degree and then 2 years of physics residency. So that's the extra 4 years after graduate from college.
Okay. All right.
So
That's
yeah.
great. All right. So what do you do what does your typical day look like?
So typical days like today, like I'm late with the meeting with you. It's like, so a lot of times we do a lot of what we call quality assurance. So the machine we're using to treat our patient, most of them are cancer patients. These are really advanced, like a well functioning linear accelerator. So the requirement for like this, like frontier high energy physics, like uptime, like 30%, it's still okay. But for us, we need to be above 90%. So it's a different requirement. So we are constantly making sure that it's operation operation during the treatment, operation hour, as well as make sure that it is within the specification, so it delivers accurate radiation dose to our patient. So a lot of time we spend that. And currently for radiation treatment, we use computer, like anything else, to simulate the patient treatment and then calculate it and all these algorithms. So we make sure that those calculation agrees with the measurement. So we're using our detector device to sense the radiation to make sure that calculation in computer agrees with what we measure using our devices. And overall workflow makes sense, whether that is what our physician really intended. So it's like these are happening every day. But a lot of time it's more of, hey, we have a problem. Then we're the one who has to go in and solve the problem. So we get a lot of phone calls like, hey, this machine is not operating. What is it? Then we go there and then they say, any advanced technology, we have to be there to make sure it works to benefit our patient.
Yeah, and it's really important to get it right because people's lives are on the line.
Yeah,
And,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So I've been asking everybody this question, and it's hard because it's putting you on the spot. But do you have a funny story that you'd like to share to the students about work or about what you do?
Funny stories. Yeah, I think you're putting me on a spot. I think we tend to be too serious about it.
That makes sense, right? Like, people's lives are on the line. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So what's one thing you wish you knew when you were in college?
Like you mentioned, you asked me, like, it's not one dimension. I wish I was more open-minded, like, oh, physics, that's all I want to do. I mean, maybe because I was determined when I was a kid, but I wish I was able to explore further than, like, it's not just my major. I can do something else. Maybe I could have explored art. Maybe there's a physics in it, or just not science and technology. That and understanding physics, understanding and fundamental really does apply in many fields. So that would have been provide me more abundant experience in when I was in college. Not instead of stick with the physics, taking on its physics classes, it just further like in it.
Yeah. So this is a somewhat related question, but a little bit different. So what advice would you give to students today who are just starting out?
As a physics major,
Yeah, let's say a STEM major. So somebody who's
STEM
science.
majors, yeah. I mean, with the current environment, like just relevant, currently relevant. A lot of people will tell you, hey, AI is going to take away everything you have learned, or, you're not going to be as good as AI, but just, you should be able to sort through, filter some of these advice. Like, think about yourself. I mean, and it is, I think it meant well, but it doesn't mean it is true for what they're going to go through, because that might not be ultimate truth, because us grown up, we're just sharing our experience, does not mean we know what's going to be in the future. So just be like optimistic, what's coming. It's been always good. So look at
That's
I guess focus on what you can get, and then explore something more like what you think it is interesting or feels right for you, is what I would want to tell.
That's great. That's great advice. Yeah, I think AI is a great tool, and we're going to use it to do some really amazing
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
But it is still a tool,
Right.
and we have to be behind it, pushing it in the right direction.
Right, right. Yep. I mean, not gonna replace humans. And for 1,000 years, how we interact with other human, and those are not gonna change in the core. So if their heart is telling something, then go for it.
It's great. That's great advice.
Yeah.